Hello everyone, it's Jen and I am really excited to jump on here and show you how to use Cricut Design Space to create a project that is larger than the Cricut mat can cut. So if you've ever wondered how, if you don't have the big venture machine, you can create those like big window decals and things like that, I'm going to show you in Design Space how you can take one image, make it as large as you want it, and then break it up into sections so that it cuts out into a variety of different pieces that you can put together. Let's jump right into Design Space and I will show you how.
We have seen a lot of you wanting more of a tutorial about how to cut a project larger than what you can cut on one Cricut mat. So I am going to show you how to do that step by step. The first thing that we're going to do is you're going to open Design Space. I am here just on my Design Space canvas. I am using the desktop app and I have it set right now for an Explorer machine. You could set it for whichever machine that you're going to be using. I'm not going to use a multi-layered project because the process will be the same. You'll just do it for each different layer. We're going to start simple, so hopefully it won't be overwhelming for you. I'm going to select images. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to type in heart. Let's just do something simple. So we have this heart here. I'm going to insert it into my canvas. And you can see it's just inserting it at just over 1.5 by 2 inches. So super small, could be cut on any machine. We're going to go ahead and make this 26 inches tall. So this is going to make it so that it is bigger than can be cut on the machine. So it's bigger than that 23.5 inches that you can cut if you're using the 12 by 24 mat. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to reduce my screen size or my zoom out so that we can see the whole image here. And the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to insert some rectangles onto my canvas here. You can see over here on the layers panel, it's giving us this little warning that says it's too large. It needs to be 11.5 inches by 23.5 inches or less for the Explorer machine. If I change this to Joy, we're going to get that same error, but it's going to say it needs to be less than 4.5 inches by a heck of a lot of inches. If you're using a smart material, then you can do that. But let's come back over here. We're going to select our Explorer machine. Now I'm going to insert a shape. So you have an option with your shapes. You want your shape to match whatever material size you're using. So I have the 12 by 24 paper and the 12 by 24 mat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the unlock up here. I'm going to make my width 11.5 inches. And I'm going to make my height 23.5 inches. That is the largest that you can cut on a 12 by 24 mat. If I was using a 12 by 12, then I would make it both height and width, 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches. So if you have larger material, I suggest using it because it allows you the opportunity to have fewer cuts that you'll be putting together. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this rectangle and I'm going to get them all lined up next to each other. You want to make sure that when you have them lined up next to each other that there is no gap. So see right now you can see the line in between. You don't want to have that line in between or you're going to end up with a really weird cut out of your material that's just skinny and long. So now I've got both of those there. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to rotate it sideways. And I'm going to add it to the bottom. And then this is going to give me essentially the size that I need. So you can see that all of these are overlapping or touching, so there's no spaces between my background materials here. So now I'm going to take my heart, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to select Send to Front. And then I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to place it on top of my materials here. You have a couple of options. You can move it all the way to one side or just really close. I don't like to put it right against the side because you don't want to run the chance of it cutting off of it. And all the way up. So then what this will do is we'll use more material on this sheet and more material on this sheet. But then this little piece here is going to be cut by itself. Personally, I feel like that piece is plenty large enough that I am not worried about it getting lost. Sometimes you may want to move your background pieces around or move your shape around, your design around, so that you don't have small pieces that you're like, I have no idea where this would go. So we're going to select one thing at a time. with our, so you can, when it comes to slicing, you can only slice 2 pieces at a time. So what we're going to do, or 2 layers at a time. So I'm going to select my heart and I'm going to select one of my rectangles. So I have those 2 selected. You can see that they're gray. Then we're going to come down here to slice. And that's going to slice those pieces out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the gray pieces because I don't need those anymore. So I got rid of that one and I got rid of that one. So now we have just our red heart piece here. So at the top is our original heart. So we're going to go ahead and select that, and we're going to select the next rectangle, and we're going to go ahead and hit slice. And then I'm going to remove the gray pieces again. And now we are going to select our top heart again, and we are going to select our last gray square or rectangle, and I'm going to hit slice for the last time. And we're going to hide or get rid of those gray pieces. So now you can see that we have our 3 heart pieces. And now if it was all put together and we select all of these pieces, you can see that our overall image is still over 20 or over 26 inches high and 21 inches wide, which is definitely bigger than can be cut on an 11.5 by 23.5 mat. So now I want to show you what happens when you click Make It. So we're going to go ahead and select Make It. It's going to tell you that you're using an image that's larger than 11.5 inches on one side or the other. So you have to have the 12 by 24 mat, which we do. So that works for us. And you can see that we have this image here. See if we can zoom out a little bit so you can see what it looks like there. There we go. We have this image that's taking up this nice big piece. But what I love is even though we had to use 2 rectangles to cut out the rest of our heart, we are able to use that on just one piece. The Design Space still arranges things and puts those all onto one mat for you. So you're only having to use 2 mats and 2 12 by 24 pieces of paper. So you'll just lay your material onto your mat, load it in, select that you're going to cut with cardstock, and then once your pieces are cut out, then you will just use an adhesive to tape them together. So that's just a super simple breakdown, and I hope it was helpful for you. Have a great day.